Inhale. Deep breath. That smell isn't fresh rain. It's ozone, wet concrete, and the last shred of your privacy evaporating in real time. Congratulations, you're Mark Grayson. You just found out your own biology isn't a gift. It's a high-value licensed asset, and the Viltrum Empire holds the patent. You're the son of Omni-Man, the strongest being on the planet. And your 17th birthday didn't just hand you a driver's license. It handed you the ability to punch through clouds and absorb hits that would turn a normal human into a fine red mist. Enjoy the view from the stratosphere while your skeleton is still in one piece. Because in this universe, invincible isn't a description of your powers. It's the writer's favorite joke at your expense.
And here's the part nobody puts on the poster. Your personality has already been flagged for deletion. In a world where superheroes are either a marketing product or a sleeper cell for intergalactic fascism, you are a software glitch the system is going to patch in the most agonizing way available. Last episode, we proved it sucks to be invincible in two completely different universes at once. Turns out, that's not even the worst version of this story. Because in this continuity, you don't get the mercy of being fictional in just one timeline. Welcome back to Almanac of Suffering. Today on the table, why being the chosen one in the Kirkmanverse is hands down the worst job in the galaxy. Your story starts with a genetic lottery you never bought a ticket for. Turns out your father, Nolan, didn't fly to Earth to rescue kittens from trees. He flew here to handle pre-sale staging for a planet that hadn't been told it was for sale. To him, you're not a beloved son. You're a pet at best. A biological experiment to see how Viltrumite genes interact with the local flora, fauna, and minivans. Your training sessions aren't an inspiring 80s montage with a guitar solo. They're your father beating you hard enough to liquefy several city blocks purely to audit your professional viability. And every time he screams, "Think, Mark," he isn't building your intellect. He's running a quality control check on the meat suit. While you cough up blood in front of a collapsing Chicago skyline, he's also, somehow, only mildly inconvenienced by. And the worst part? Dad isn't even your boss. You've got a whole second job waiting once he's done with you. The moment your father heads out for milk in another galaxy, you'd think you're a free agent. Wrong. You've just been quietly absorbed into the jurisdiction of one Cecil Stedman. And the Global Defense Agency is basically Vault Tech with an unlimited teleportation budget and zero oversight committee. To Cecil, you're not a teenager. You're strategic deterrent. And your life just became government property. No severance, no union, no Sunday off. There are no weekends in this job. You'll get yanked out of bed, off a date, mid-bite of a sandwich to go fight the Flaxons, invaders from a dimension where time runs so fast they could finish their entire invasion and retire before you've even finished your sandwich.
And here's the part that should really keep you up at night. If you die on the job, that's not even the end of your employment. Cecil's got a standing contract with a man named D.A. Sinclair, and Sinclair's specialty is corpse repurposing. Your body gets recycled into something called a reaniman, a mindless cyborg shell that keeps clocking in long after your actual consciousness has been deleted from the building. Think of it as the world's worst pension plan. You don't get to retire, your corpse does, and it still has to come to work. If you're still here after that mental image, you've earned a badge of honor. And a subscribe button, conveniently located right below this video, would look great on that badge. But your own planet is at least a familiar nightmare. Space travel in this show? That's where things get inventive.
Space travel in this universe isn't an adventure. It's an industrial disintegrator with a tourism brochure. Mars,
You show up as a glorified astronaut babysitter and leave as a luxury condo for the sequids, bright pink, brain-shaped parasites whose entire business model is hijacking your central nervous system. The horrifying part isn't losing control. It's staying fully conscious while your own hand presses the button labeled Exterminate Humanity, because your body has stopped recognizing your brain as the authorized user on the account. The flaxen dimension. 5 minutes back on Earth equals decades trapped in that hellscape. You could live out an entire lifetime of forced labor over there, come home and discover your pizza is technically still warm, but you've personally forgotten how a fork works. And just when you think you've survived the tour of the galaxy's worst destinations, the family business shows up to remind you who's really running this planet. Sooner or later, Dad's actual coworkers, Anissa, Conquest, take your pick, fly in for a performance review. On Viltrum, there's no concept of morality. There's only efficiency. To them, your planet isn't a home, it's a farm. And someone upstairs needs to decide whether the crop gets automated or weeded out entirely. Being invincible doesn't mean you're unstoppable. It means you're the only biological speed bump standing between your species and total recycling. You're gonna lose teeth, an eye or two, and several gallons of blood every single episode. Because in this universe, winning is generously redefined as simply remaining a solid, recognizable object, while everyone around you gets turned into mincemeat. And here's the cruelest part of the whole job. Even when you actually manage to win, nobody's throwing you a parade. Here's the twist nobody warned you about going in. The more you save the world, the more it hates you for it. People like Powerplex will blame you personally for the deaths of his entire family. Not because you caused it, but because you were standing there when Omni-Man decided to redecorate a city block with a school bus. You didn't do it. You just happened to be visible in the security footage. Your individuality, at the end of the day, is just a software error. Doesn't matter if it's the Viltrum Empire running the audit or the GDA running the paperwork. Sooner or later, the system schedules a defragmentation on your entire life. And you don't get to RSVP no. But hey, silver lining. You've got a genuinely solid blue and yellow suit, and your best friend is Alan the Alien, who looks like a one-eyed carrot that's been hitting the gym since the Bronze Age, so it's not all bad. If you want to find out why it also sucks to be a Witcher, or exactly how fast you'd personally die in every single Fallout vault, hit subscribe and stick around. There's a whole almanac left to ruin. Think, Mark. Or, just think. Out.